Hi, I'm Braden.
Hi, I'm Owen, and we'll be looking at George Orwell's 1984 through a Marxist lens. First, we'll start off by giving a quick overview of what Marxism is.
The Marxist approach to literature is based on the philosophy of Karl Marx, a German philosopher and economist. Marx heavily based Marxism upon the communist elements of Stalin's Russia. His major argument was that whoever controlled the means of production in the society controlled the society. Marx noted a disparity in the economic and political power. Marx believed that the means of production should be placed in the hands of those who actually operated them. Marx also noted that without any power in being constantly controlled, you would be unable to create change. Marxism can easily be understood as a direct reflection of culture and that literature can instigate revolution.
In George Orwell's 1984, socialist ideals derived from Joseph Stalin's Russia are evident through the entirety of the novel. In Isaac Duscher's The Mysticism of Cruelty, he claims that Orwell had borrowed the main elements for 1984 from a person by the name of Zamyatin, whose influences for his short story that Orwell based 1984 off of from his lower-class experiences that he endured in 1905 during the Russian Revolution. Winston Smith wrestles with the same oppression in Oceania, a main component of Marxism. The party scrutinizes human actions with ever-watchful Big Brother, defying a ban on individuality. Winston dares to express his thoughts in a diary and pursues a relationship with Julia. These criminal deeds bring Winston into the eye of the opposition, who then must reform to the nonconformist.
Marxism's core values were shaped upon economic control and power. The society in 1984 shaped by the party creating the ministries. Contrary to what these ministries should do to govern the nation, they are effectively used by the party to propagate their ideas and condition people to adopt themselves to the principles of the party. The Records Department in Ministry of Truth has a direct relation to how the bourgeoisie own the means of production. Miniature changes history when something does not seem right, or when a person has a thought against the ideals of the party. It is done to make the people believe that the party is always right. The party's power is clearly abused when they use the Ministry of Peace to make people believe that there was a war going on. The fear of people about the ongoing war will prevent them from paying any attention to other happenings in the country, again appealing to the criticism of Marxism in the fact that as long as the government has control, it will be able to control thoughts of the citizens. Along with the help of Ministry of Love, tasked to control law and order, make it nearly impossible to overthrow their oppressors.
Orwell emphasizes a key aspect of Marxism by using the separation of social class and the power attributed to them through the ideals that Big Brother never stopped watching you. On coins, on stamps, on the covers of books, on banners, on posters, and the wrappings of cigarette packets, everywhere. Always the eyes watching you and the voice enveloping you. Asleep or awake, working or eating, indoors or outdoors, in bath or in bed, no escape. Nothing was your own except for the few cubic centimeters inside your skull. The lower class in 1984, the proles and the outer party, have no way of creating change due to the way they aren't allowed their own voice. And if they voice an ideal contrary to the party, they will be prosecuted. Nonetheless, they would never be able to create a union within themselves as a class in order to rise up and overthrow the socialist government that controls them. The way that Big Brother has shaped society, even this type of training did not produce in them any tendency to rebel against the discipline of the party. The economic condition of 1984 resembles that of Russia. To Winston Smith, readjusting the Ministry of Plenty's figures is not even forgery. Rather, it appears like substituting one piece of nonsense for another because most of the figures mentioned do not have any connection with the real world. For example, the Ministry of Plenty's forecast had estimated the output for boots of the quarter at 145 million pairs. The actual output was 62 million. Very likely, no boots have been produced at all. Nobody knew how many had been produced, much less cared. All one knew was that every quarter produced, astronomical numbers of boots were produced on paper, while perhaps half of the population of Oceania went barefoot. And so it was with every class of recorded fact, great or small.
In Orwell's novel 1984, the state insists that passion, desire, and love must be only expressed towards Big Brother. The citizens are conditioned to hate others. It is analogous to what has taken place in America since the attack of September 11th. People having other ideologies are suspect. This attitude is echoed by the words of the then American President George W. Bush. Quote, either you are with us or you are with the terrorists, end quote. Timothy Sexton traces this parallel between the art experience and life experience. In 1984, we also see how the fear of war is exploited by Big Brother to manage social solidarity. The purpose of Big Brother is to instill fear and paranoia in society so that the only way of security is to believe that the government is always taking the right measures to protect its citizens. It is universally true of any modern governance. Bureaucratization is perpetuated by the threat of social upheaval, revolution, or war. Such excited state of affairs, projected by the ruling elite, succeeds in snuffing/silencing all political debates on the issues on hand.
In Oceania, technological development has reached so high a level that society could well satisfy its all material needs and establish equality in the midst, but inequality and poverty are maintained in order to keep Big Brother in power. In the past, says Orwell, dictatorship safeguards inequality, now inequality safeguards dictatorship. Ramchek, in his essay, Socio-Cultural Matrix, in George Orwell's 1984, make a good point in which, quote, our own society is conditioned to discursive methods so that we pay scant attention to important things, end quote. Rather, we are conditioned to pay attention to trifles. Jason Candide opines that modern technology is great. However, in the wrong hands, it can be dangerous weapons of mass destruction, and worse yet, mass control. In 1984, people are controlled by the government through surveillance. Winston's experience is widely considered an artistic recreation of Orwell, portraying the coercive methods of Stalin and the Nazis. Today, many private companies are using hidden cameras to monitor both property and employees. It is also possible for a government to watch people. Samuel Haynes argues that, quote, Orwell's imagination was one that depended upon documentation and the sense of recorded fact. Big Brother looks like Stalin. Goldstein is a Trotsky-like dissenting intellectual, and the purges, trials, and tortures resembled those of that decline that Russian parties during the 30s.
Orwell presents a totalitarian society that seems to be a Marxist nightmare come to fruition, and applying a Marxist lens allows readers to interpret what Orwell was trying to warn against. In addition, a deconstructionist viewpoint of the novel points out binary oppositions that exist within the world and challenges readers to see beyond their original mindset, ultimately leading them down a path to deeper understanding of oneself. Readers are able to understand the political and economic foundations of 1984 through Marxism, but it is deconstruction that allows them to step into Winston's shoes and live inside that world.